Our story started when we were 10. I saw a confident young girl tramsting through Merion, and now here we are 20 years later, getting married at the same place.
Words cannot describe how happy I am to marry you today. You make me the luckiest girl in the world, and I can't wait to be your wife.
I first remember you, I still remember you, that butterfly feeling I would get back then because it's still the same feeling I get when I see you. I always loved you, and you were special, and I couldn't wait to call you my wife.
Your love keeps me going every day, and it will for the rest of my life. I love you and will always love you, just like I loved you when I was a little girl. Love, Stephanie.
Thank you for being that person. Thank you for making me a better man. I'm so excited to start our life together. You and me together, we can do anything. I love you, Doug.
So pretty.
Steph and Doug have a connection that's really quite unique. You know, I think we've all heard it throughout this weekend where they've known each other since middle school. It's freaky how well these two, mesh and are connected.
As I walked down the aisle, I did it slower than because I wanted her to hold on to me. Those few extra seconds, I'm now ready to turn my daughter, who I used to call baby, and a little bit of muffin, over to this young man. Even though I'm giving her to Doug, who's strong and capable and protective, for all of her life, I've been the person who's held that role.
Today, we celebrate the union of Doug and Steffi, but also their reunion with old friends, familiar places, and each other. It is not every day that we get to witness the marriage of two people who have known each other throughout their lives, but today is one of those rare days. So, we have come back to the main line, back to where Doug and Steffi first met, back to the scene where their love first blossomed, back to the familiar places that we have been and they have known, and among the familiar faces they have known.
Doug, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and faithfulness. I ask you to wear it as a reminder of the vows we've spoken here today.
Stephanie, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and faithfulness. I ask you to wear it as a reminder of the vows we have spoken here today.
Doug, take care of my little girl. Steffi, take care of my new son-in-law. Please raise your glasses in celebrating the new Mr. and Mrs. Success. Let's dance and eat cake.
Bride prep was so smooth because she is just the chillest bride I have ever seen. Her mother, not so much all the time. Seeing her girlfriends around her, ones that she's known since she was 4 years old and 5 years old, was a real special emotional moment for me all day long. This young woman, and I think it has to do with Doug and her connection with Doug and the way they feel about each other, they have brought out the absolute best in both of them, and it has made her just a calm person that believes in herself and believes in what was happening today. It was amazing and fun. We had a blast.
Well, I think a number of people over the weekend have mentioned that one of Doug's traits is to do things his way, to make his own decisions. And he wanted to make his own decision when he was a pretty small kid about a lot of things. When he came time to decide what sport he was going to play in college, he chose lacrosse. And then the quality of the experience he had, which he had no way of knowing in advance, with the teammates he got to know and trust, with the coach he got to know and trust, and he invited the coach to the wedding, and he's here actually. Made his college experience even that more meaningful. So he got benefit out of his independence of choice far beyond what he maybe even could have expected. The father-daughter look for me today was, first I had to wait for it for quite a while. And during that time, I began to realize in that solitude how difficult it was going to be to see her. And when I finally went into the bedroom and looked at her, it was so emotionally overwhelming. She looked fantastic. She looked as perfect as I could ever imagine anyone to look.
You look pretty good too.
Excited?
Oh yeah. You look fabulous. And it's one of those moments I'll never forget in my life.
Verdi and I clearly love Dougie, and we are so happy that he and Steffi are going to have a future together.
Beautiful.
Thanks, baby.
I love it.
You do?
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's very, very nice. I love the button in the back.
The buttons?
Yeah,
And the bow?
I do.
It's one of the best things as a parent to see your son or daughter find someone with whom they're going to spend the rest of their lives, have children, do the tough stuff, do the fun stuff. It makes us very happy. It's the best.
It was almost fate in a way, and I think she saw this ultimate connection that we noticed from the first time they got back together. I mean, we had brunch together, and it was the first time we had met Doug since obviously when he was in middle school. And I told my parents, I told my wife that there's no doubt in my mind that's the man Steph's going to marry. We're all super blessed. I'm excited to get basically a new brother, and we're super happy for him.
For some reason, the most emotional moment to me was when we were all standing there. The men had already processed in, and had the bridesmaids. And Steffi and her dad first appeared from out behind the bushes. And there was our son waiting happily and anxiously for her to get there. There were our other sons standing in attendance to assist and support him. The whole assembled troop who were there to support our kids. And seeing Steffi walk out, it just seems so full of promise for the future.
A soulmate is someone who has the locks that fit our keys and the keys to fit our locks. When we feel safe enough to open the locks, our true selves step out and we can be completely and honestly who we are. We can be loved for who we are and not for who we're pretending to be. Each unveils the best part of the other. No matter what else goes wrong with us, with that one person we're safe in our own paradise. Our soulmate is someone who shares our deepest longings, our sense of direction. When we are two balloons and together our direction is up, chances are we found the right person. Our soulmate is the one who makes life come to life.
Doug, as I stand here today, I think back to when I first fell in love with you at 10 years old. Fast forward to our first date, and all the reasons I fell in love with you as a little girl came rushing back. Your kind heart, your loyalty, your charm, and your smile. I felt like a little girl in love again. And standing here today, I feel the same way. You bring out the best in me, always supporting me and encouraging me. You're always ready to help me solve any problem with your can-do attitude. You remind me to enjoy the simple things in life and to always be grateful. I'm so lucky to have you as my partner. You are my key ingredient. You make me happier than I ever thought possible, and I can't wait to spend my life with you. I vow to encourage you, trust you, and respect you. I will share in your dreams and support you as you strive to achieve your goals. I will laugh with you in times of joy and cry with you in times of sadness. I vow to love you with all of my heart from this day forward and all of the days of my life.
Steph, today is the start of something that we both started 20 years ago. Ever since I saw you walking through Merion when we were 10, and that distinctive heel-toe walk, I knew there was something special about you. I still remember the way I felt back then, because I felt it again when I saw you for the first time again 5 years ago. You had that same confident heel-toe walk and that infectious energy that captivates everyone you meet. You're one of the most independent people that I know and one of the most caring. You don't let anyone dictate your path and you march forward every day. But I'm so lucky because you have chosen your path with me, and for that I am so thankful. There will be many challenges and turns in our life, but together we will rise to each of them. I promise that each day will be an adventure, and to welcome each new loop that is thrown our way, and explore them wherever they take us. I promise to approach each day as a blessing, to be goofy in the times of joy, and to be steadfast and strong in the times of need. I promise to kiss you every night before I go to bed, and every morning when I wake up, so that I may start and end my day with you. I can't promise that I'll be perfect, but I'll promise that I'll try to be every day. I can promise you everything, but know that I'll love you for the rest of my life and do my best each day to be the best husband I can be. I love you.
Every time I saw these two together, their connection is just phenomenal. It's a real love story to me, and I, even though I've lived it, I still find it a surprise when I see them and how well they connect.
We know that Doug and his independence and self-determination has arrived here today as a result of many, many segments of the journey of self-discovery and through times when the night was pitch dark and the dawn seemed like it would never come. But he's arrived here at your wedding on the main line at the Merion Cricket Club with you, his middle school girlfriend, despite the fact that for most of his life he seemed to be trending away from this. But this is what he really loves, being with you. And if that means coming full circle and admitting that Mom might have been right a few times, then he's here and he's ready with eyes wide open.
And while there's a lot to be said for having a crush on someone since day one, that fairy tale story, that middle school crush, isn't why we're all here today. Doug and Steph, as adults, have developed this partnership so full of love, respect, and the most genuine support for one another. I've spent a lot of time as third wheel with these two, a lot, and there's just this natural comfort, ease, and effortless joy. It's clear that the relationship they have will not only lead to a lifetime of happiness and fulfillment, but it'll allow for them to challenge one another, grow together, and be the absolute best versions of themselves.
You guys do it with your own style and in your own way, and this weekend has been a true expression of both of you. Steph, you've grafted Doug's quirks, and he has grafted yours. And you play off each other beautifully. For that, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And also, he's your problem now.
Doug, we love you more than tongue can tell, whoever that is, and we always will. And you too, Steffi. And so we'll ask everyone to raise their glass and congratulate our dear brother and his lovely new wife. Cheers!
You have chosen one another from among all the people on earth. You have declared your love for each other and your purposes before this gathering. So now, by the authority vested in me by the state of Pennsylvania, I pronounce you husband and wife. Bugsy, you may kiss the bride. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to all of you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. DeSessa.
Doug was always the cool brother, which I wouldn't say is particularly difficult in this family. But he was always doing something a little different than the rest of us. Doug's first expression of independence was what we call the boy band phase. Doug, what were you thinking?
You might not want to get this part. I'm shooting tighter.
Is that my glass?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here, take a rest.
Oh, it's okay.
Just gotta get a hot soft breath in my right ear. Just like caressing your ear. That's a preview of what's to come for you tonight, I'm sure.
They put them on the wrong feet.
Yeah.
Then he transitioned from pop music to hardcore rap. And this was way out there for our family. Doug was tired of being told what to do, and so if he was going to be trapped in this world, and he was obviously oppressed, he was going to bend it to his own terms. Seriously though, he donned baggy jeans and Timberlands and flat brim hats, and he pierced his ears. And he stole some diamond studs from our mother so that he could rock ice like the gangsters.
But I stayed up. They have to. Did you bite my kiss off?